Hi there, and welcome to week 5 of the semester. It's hard to believe, but after this week, we're about a third of the way through the semester, and it sort of makes sense that we're wrapping up your discussion and your one specific topic from pop culture, which was our first unit of study, and the essays, and we're moving on to a new topic, which hopefully you'll enjoy, which is food and society. So there's some busy work, some housekeeping to do to wrap things up. We're moving forward and starting new things. And in all cases, though, the activities are pretty much similar from unit to unit. It's just the topic that changes. Okay, let's look back real quickly at week 4. I wanted to comment on a couple of things regarding week 4. And one thing I appreciated was the information from people about their writer's toolbox reflections about how the course was going, as well as using the textbook for that discussion earlier on. It was also nice to see initial response group activities, and that was fantastic. It was good to see people's ideas get out there, the feedback that folks gave to each other, and we will be doing another response group based on your continued progress this week, so I'll talk about that in a minute or two. I also wanted to make sure that you're clear that we sort of finished up the two things. The Begin Your Research is sort of ending, as well as the Pop Culture Research Collection, since we're moving on to a new topic. And also, you're having the opportunity to make up some work from the missed weeks 1 through 3. And I highly encourage you to do this. Even if you just missed one assignment, go back and make it up now. And that way, if you miss something further on down the line, it won't be of consequence to you as much. But if you missed a number of early assignments, please take advantage of that opportunity. As you'll see here in the week 5, that deadline for completing the assignment amnesty and making up those week 1 through 3 assignments is this coming Friday, the 26th. So it's a little bit different deadline. Usually our deadlines are Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, but because this is sort of an off-sequence thing and it's making up for older stuff, I'm putting a different deadline to help you sort of balance your work out a little bit. What we're doing this week, as I said, moving on to food and society. And we're sort of beginning to talk about that by first looking at fast food a little bit, about the consequences of our eating habits. And I want you to start doing a little bit of thinking yourself about your own eating and what you see from those around you. And I encourage you to do this by actually charting or journaling, writing down your food consumption. And that should include sodas, beverages, anything like that as well, for the next few weeks. Sort of pay attention to what it is that you eat and when do you eat those things. And maybe not in a way that's completely obvious or overbearing, also start thinking about what you see from those around you. What are the general consumption patterns that we see in our society? I know that I've made a number of changes to my own diet in recent years, and it's made me a little bit more aware of the pressures that we face, what we see regarding food around us all the time within our culture, where it plays a really interesting role in a lot of factors. And we'll be talking about those or reading about them and discussing them on the discussion boards over the course of this unit. The first opportunity to do that is in a few things. You'll see that the Writer's Toolbox activity this week is actually going to be related to your essay rather than the topic of the week's conversation. So this is a little bit of a departure, and you'll see that this week it's actually going to ask you to do some real focused attention on some of the uses of the concepts from they say, I say. Okay, so you're going to be looking at essay number 1, and you're going to be making some changes to your transitions, to pointing words, to repetition of keywords, and using that in order to assess your own things. So when you post this week, that's the work that you're looking to do. Okay, and I've actually called it an activity-ish reflection this week, because usually I alternate back and forth between weeks where you share just with me, and then you share, and then you give feedback to other people in your groups. This time I'm going to have you make your your ideas and your things visible to other people in the class, but you're not going to have to respond to them. This will sort of allow you to see how other people use these things effectively without having to go back and to comment on those things. Okay, so that's something for you to consider. So that's a little bit different. It's a final thing, a revision look at your essay to help you prepare for what you're sharing with your group this week. We have this little overlap that sort of happens when we're starting a new topic and concluding another. Last week you shared your outline or plan or early draft of your first essay. This week you're going to take the feedback that you got from each other, from me, from your own continued research and development, and you're going to share a complete essay with each other. And that's in the response group, Essay 1 Draft and Revision Response Group. Please note that your follow-up and your feedback expected for the second workshop on the same essay is more extensive. This is where the letter that you're writing and the topics that I've given you in developing a peer response letter comes into play. The expectation is that you have at least 300 words at minimum in your feedback letter, and you should have a number of different topics. Also remember to ask for the help that you want when you're posting your essay so that people can focus on the things that you really would like assistance with in your draft. The assignment amnesty, again reminding you that you had that chance to make up assignments from weeks 1 through 3. We're wrapping up the pop culture research collections, and we're moving into the next group. And so I want you to do a self-assessment here, where you sort of look at what you added, you reflect on that, you look at the criteria for the research collection, and sort of grade yourself. And I'll go through and sort of compare my observations to yours and issue a score based on that. But you need to do the self-assessment in order for me to do that. We are going to start adding to the research collections for the Food and Society. I would really encourage you to make sure that you review this research collection and curation overview, and particularly look at the curation part. For the first research collections, you only had to do collection, which was adding new things to the research collections. For the units 2 and 3, you're going to be looking at what other people have added in addition to adding your own, and you're going to sort of fill in or expand on their actual entry. So you might add some comments to the summary or the analysis. You might sort of point out something on their MLA citation that they overlooked. Okay, so this is a chance for you to fine-tune these and improve these as a resource. So do take a look at that and make sure that you're doing that. The final thing, if you met with me for a Google conference for essay number 1 early on in the sequence, or if you just want to meet with me again after having revised and done further work on it, or if you failed to schedule your appointment for your essay number 1 conference, or you scheduled one but didn't complete it, this is a chance for you to meet with me or meet with me again through Google Docs. There's a sign up for this week, so please click on this link and make an appointment for a Google Docs conference if you'd like one. If you didn't schedule or complete your Essay 1 conference, this has to be completed by the end of week 6. And if you did complete one, I'm going to be having people meet with me through Google Docs in week 6 and 7. Okay, so please review this and check that out. A couple final things. I'll be updating the Begin Your Research units and pre-survey. The librarian's still getting that information to me. This week I sort of skipped over it, but you should have completed a post-survey for Begin Your Research to sort of show what you learned through the course of all those early assignments. So that would happen. And I'm still waiting on the librarian to get back to me. And if you completed some units later than they were scheduled, I did allow for that in the Begin Your Research or in the assignment amnesty, but I'll have to wait for her then to update those scores. So that will be coming. If the Writer's Toolbox activities, I wanted to point out, if you're doing activities where you're commenting back and forth to each other, I'm just giving you credit or no credit. I rarely make comments on those unless it's to comment on why you didn't receive credit. Okay. In the reflections, I'll always respond with some feedback or direct comments to you. The final things, let me see what I have notes about. I think that's it. I did open up, and I wanted to point out I only had weeks 1 through 5 visible on our course thing to begin with to begin with, and I wanted to make sure that, okay, that reassures me. I had thought for a while that I hadn't actually started recording this video, and when I looked over there in the margin, but I see that it is working. The thing that I do want to make sure that with the, no, I just completely forgot where I am. I am going to pause. Okay, I had to take a break there for a minute because I completely lost my place. What I was going to say, and what I was trying to say, is that I have opened up the future weeks for you. Originally on the course, I only had weeks 1 through 5 visible. I have opened up through weeks 10 now, and in a few cases, I haven't opened up all the assignments. Like, I haven't made them visible. I have to go through and make sure I have all the dates right and haven't changed, I've made some changes along the way to certain assignments, so I need to make sure I've got those accurate. But on the whole, at least it provides you with a layout of the readings, of the different things we'll be doing week to week through the next third of the semester. And hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll have the whole rest of the semester up and running for you, so you can take a look ahead if you need to. I think that's it for this week. Have a fantastic week 5. And like I said, you're 1/3 of the way through all of your classes. If you have questions for me at any time, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you on Moodle.